this is big news here, certainly for the Garner family. This is something that they've been waiting to hear for really 5 years when you think about it. And word now, we're told by officials, is that the NYPD judge who oversaw the internal hearing for the police officer, Daniel Pataleo, after a 6-day trial, has recommended that he be terminated, that the police commissioner fire Daniel Pataleo. And that is really the next step here. What will the police commissioner do? Will he fire the officer after these recommendations from the NYPD department trial? This judge, she's a deputy commissioner, Rosemary Maldonado. She oversaw this 6-day trial. Her testimony saw evidence and now has recommended that the officer be terminated, be fired from the police department. It is up to the police commissioner now, and I think that's what is very important for folks to understand, what the ultimate outcome here is. And from what I'm told is that the NYPD commissioner, James O'Neill, is expected to follow her recommendations. When that will happen is unclear. It is expected that he's going to move pretty swiftly here, so we could hear something within the next 10 days. But there's a process here now for the officer involved. His attorneys, they get to sort of appeal. They can appeal this decision to the police commissioner. They can submit briefs. They can argue to him why it is that the officer should not be terminated. And one other point here for the officer, and that is his pension. Will he be allowed to keep his pension if the police commissioner terminates him? The police commissioner can decide to also take away his pension. That is a severe consequence as well in all of this, and hasn't been done often, but it is done in some cases, and that would be the ultimate punishment here as well for these officers. So if in the end the police commissioner decides to fire him, he would lose his job, obviously, but then he could also lose his pension. But all of this is still up in the air, and we should have word probably in the next 10 days. But I think this will be a huge relief here for the Garner family and for folks who have been seeking justice in this case.
And as you have pointed out many a time, this isn't just about something that happened in New York. This is a death and a case that captured the nation, outraged so many. His final words, "I can't breathe," became a rallying cry for those about brutal police tactics. And now this, 5 years later, this is why it's getting so much attention and deserves it.
A majority of the Democratic caucus is now supporting moving forward with an impeachment inquiry into President Trump. And that's significant because Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, has been trying to hold her caucus back. She released a statement just a short time ago arguing that Democrats should stay the course. And now is not necessarily the best time for impeachment. She wrote, quote, "Democrats in the Congress continue to legislate, investigate, and litigate. The president will be held accountable." And Democrats in the caucus are back in their district for this congressional recess. You can expect that they're going to be hearing from constituents who might also be making calls to impeach the president. But it's a difficult balance because you have moderates who may be going back to districts where President Trump won in 2016. They may be hearing a different message than those members who are in safe Democratic seats who might be hearing from more liberal constituents.
Frustration turns to anger on the stretch of track that cuts through Kentucky's coal country. No pay! It's where the men and women who work for Black Jewel, the bankrupted coal producer, are fighting for their livelihoods. Since Monday, miners have refused to clear a path for a train that's carrying the cargo of coal that they helped dig themselves. At the core of the protests, according to the miners' attorney, the nearly $5 million worth of back pay that's owed to Black Jewel employees.
There's a brotherhood amongst coal miners. United we stand, divided we fall.
Brandon Pearson is a plant mechanic who hasn't seen a Black Jewel paycheck in nearly a month and a half.
If it wasn't for people giving me money, just out of the kindness of the heart, just coming up and say, here, this is for you, I don't know what I'll do.
There's no shortage of help coming from neighbors. After all, it's what makes this part of Appalachia so resilient. But there seems to be a voice that's missing among the support, says Pearson.
Of clean, beautiful coal.
One that promised to be there for people like him.
We need Donald J. Trump to come to coal country. We voted for that man. When he said he would be here for coal miners. I've seen him with the UMWA hat on. I've seen him with the hard hat on, said, "I'm here for you. We're going to make America great again. We're going to put people back to work again." And I'm not blaming this on him. This is not his fault in any shape, form, or fashion, because I know he's there for us, and we need him here.
Pearson and the rest of the miners that CNN spoke to all agreed the president has provided an economic second wind to their industry.
I'll put it on, right?
But they fear that Trump's promise has done very little to help them out in this particular crisis.
I seen where he just, he was trying to work on getting a young rapper out of jail or prison in another country, and I know he had some celebrity influences in that, but we need bailed out. We need something, and we just need him to be here for us.
Black Jewel is yet to respond to CNN's repeated request for comment. An attorney representing some of the miners says legal action is being pursued in an attempt to recover the wages and their benefits. Polo Sandoval, CNN, Cumberland, Kentucky.